Good morning. I'm Eva Pilgrim in for Diane Macedo. Thanks for streaming with us. In today's update, the dramatic escalation of violence in the Middle East. Israel says it's dropped more than 100 bombs on Gaza overnight, targeting the system of tunnels used by Hamas militants. Palestinian authorities say at least 42 people, most of them civilians, were killed when Israel leveled several buildings targeting a Hamas leader. Over the weekend, another airstrike destroyed the offices of several international news agencies, including the Associated Press and Al Jazeera English. The former police officer charged with killing Daunte Wright in a Minneapolis suburb is set to appear in court this afternoon. Kim Potter, who is charged with second-degree manslaughter, will attend a pretrial hearing on whether there is enough probable cause for the case to move forward. Potter shot and killed Wright after pulling him over for driving with expired tags. The former Brooklyn Center, Minnesota police chief says Potter meant to use her taser but fired her gun by mistake. And fully vaccinated people across the country celebrated the first weekend under new CDC guidelines, saying they can ditch their masks in most places. But while the guidance from the CDC may have changed, mandates in some states have not. 22 states still have some sort of mask mandate in place. Several businesses, including Starbucks, Walmart, Target, and Trader Joe's, are all dropping their mask rules in stores, but only in states without mandates in place. Most of the U.S. population, almost two-thirds of Americans, are not yet fully vaccinated. The CDC director says if you are one of those people, you should still wear a mask. And earlier on Good Morning America, Dean of Brown University School of Public Health, Dr. Ashish Jha, talked to George about the confusion about the CDC's new mask guidelines. Take a listen.
Dr. Jha, let me start out by having you respond to that criticism from the nurses union, saying this decision by the CDC is not based on science and that it's going to endanger frontline workers.
Yeah, so good morning, George. Thanks for having me on. I think the CDC's recommendation, there are a couple of parts of this. One is they're encouraging more people to get vaccinated, which of course I agree with. Second is they're saying if you're fully vaccinated, you are safe, and I agree with that. The problem is how it's being implemented. The states that are lifting mask mandates are doing so for vaccinated and unvaccinated people. That's why I think the lifting of the mask mandates right now is unwise. We should wait a little longer until more Americans get the vaccine.
You're vaccinated, but you say you're going to continue to wear a mask inside places like the grocery store. Why?
Yeah, so look, it's not for personal issues alone. I think I'm pretty safe when I go into a grocery store. There are two issues in my mind. One is if there are a lot of unvaccinated people unmasked, it does pose a little bit of a threat, not much, not enough to make me concerned. But the second issue is there are a lot of people in my state and states across the country that are not yet fully vaccinated, that are still in the process. And I think we should wear masks for them. And so therefore, I'm really doing it as a way to encourage other people to wear masks just for a little bit longer, another 3 to 4 weeks until more people are vaccinated.
The CDC also says schools should continue to mask and social distance for the rest of the school year. They're going to update the guidance for the next school year. What should we expect?
Yeah, I think what we should expect is a real differentiation between vaccinated and unvaccinated kids. So I can imagine among older kids, we're all going to hopefully be vaccinated by the fall. They certainly can be. I expect more relaxation of standards. The issue will be the younger kids, and they will likely not have been vaccinated by the fall. And the question for the CDC really will be, do they recommend continuing masking, or can we relax those standards as well?
And our thanks to George and Dr. Jha for that interview. Turning now to last-minute tips on tax day. The deadline is here. So what should you do if you haven't filed, and when can you expect a refund? Rebecca Jarvis has what you need to know. Good morning, Rebecca.
It is tax day, and even though it is a month later this year, it still might have caught you by surprise. Your best bet at this point is still to file electronically today if you can make that work. If you make less than $72,000 a year, there are free resources for you at irs.gov where you can file for free. If you make more than that amount, look for the electronic options. They make things very easy and seamless. Now, if you're not in a position, you don't have all of your forms and your ducks in a row today, your best bet bet is to file for an extension. That is Form 4868. You can also find that at irs.gov. The important thing to know when you file for an extension is that while you're giving yourself an extension on filing your taxes, you aren't getting an extension on paying your taxes. You still have to estimate your tax liability today and write that check out to the IRS. Otherwise, you could be facing big penalties down the road because you didn't pay your taxes on time. An important thing for families with children to know this year is that the child tax credit has been expanded under the most recent stimulus program, and they are basing the payments for later this year on what you did in your tax filings in 2020 or 2019, whichever is available. Your best bet here, if you have a family with a child under 17 years old, and families with those children, if you have a child between 6 and 17, are eligible for up to $3,000 in tax credit per child. Families with children under 6 years old are eligible for tax credit up to $3,600. So your very best bet, if you are a family with children, is to get those taxes in now, because the IRS and Treasury say the payments will start going out on a monthly basis beginning on July 15th. Eva, get those ducks in a row. And by the way, if you can't afford to make your tax payment as of today, your best bet there is to contact the IRS directly, work out an installment plan. It is so much better to speak to the IRS about this now so that you don't incur penalties later. Hiding, it doesn't pay off. It doesn't work. Eva?
Rebecca Jarvis, a lot of good advice for us today. Well, May is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and today we're covering the push for Asian Americans to sign up to donate bone marrow. For the majority of people who need a bone marrow transplant, their only hope to find a life-saving match is a stranger on a donor list. Right now, there is a big push in the Asian American community to grow those lists and save young lives. Here's more.
7-year-old Lillian and older brother Jerry share a love of board games, Pokemon, and most of all, family. But there's something else they share. The two siblings have a rare genetic mutation which led to AML, an aggressive form of leukemia.
It's still extremely rare for siblings to have the same disease. So I was shocked. I was devastated. And but I have to be strong for my kids.
Jerry was first diagnosed at age 3. His condition was grave, but 3 years later, thanks to the Be the Match registry, he received a successful bone marrow transplant. His sister Lillian has not been as lucky.
What do you call a toothless bear? A gummy bear.
The little girl who loves telling jokes has undergone 4 rounds of intensive chemo since September, but she still hasn't found a life-saving match. In fact, experts say Lillian's plight highlights the urgent need for more people of Asian descent to join national bone marrow registries like Be the Match. 79% of white patients find a match through the registry compared to 47% of Asian patients. Meanwhile, the odds of black patients finding a match, just 29%.
Yeah, it's a numbers game, and that is the more people of your ethnicity in the donor registry, the greater the probability of finding a match.
Lisa Joy, co-creator of the HBO series Westworld, has also joined the fight.
He is the most delightful, strongest, coolest kid I know.
Let's growl and roar.
Okay, let's growl and roar. Ready?
Lisa's nephew, 7-year-old Ray, who is Chinese, British, and Italian, was recently diagnosed with XLP2, a very rare genetic disease which can be cured with a life-saving bone marrow transplant. Ray is just 3 months older than Lisa's own daughter. The cousins share a special bond, but neither his cousin nor the rest of his family is a match. And so far, he hasn't found a match on the registry.
When I looked into the statistics, I was really shocked because I found that there was a real inequity in the number of matches there were for people of color.
So Lisa recently partnered up with Be the Match to start a campaign called Roar for Ray, hoping to raise awareness for more Asian and mixed-race donors to join the registry.
The thought that this campaign that he inspired could help anybody, I can't think of anything that would be more meaningful to me in my life.
A ray of hope.
And Lisa's goal is to add at least 100,000 donors to find a match for patients like Ray. And that does it for this ABC News Live update. I'm Eva Pilgrim in for Diane Macedo. Thanks for joining us. Remember, ABC News Live is here for you all day with the latest news, context, and analysis. We'll see you back here at 3 p.m. Eastern with Terry Moran for the breakdown. Have a great day.
We begin, however, with the struggle by gays and lesbians for the right to be legally married. Today in Massachusetts, for the first time in U.S. history, the civil marriage laws of a state do not exclude gays.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.